Welcome. It's Facts You Don't Know. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more, and first make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything.
Mark still in his work as police officer when he decided to do an exchange volunteer in poor communities to help children with disabilities at a local clinic. Mark worked at the medical center with many families and their children, where he met a very special person. Only call, she started helping a get girl and her mother, but over time noticed something shocking, unfortunately. Many people believe that certain deficiencies are caused by witchcraft one day. Sarah went to the house of Lila. There he made a shocking discovery that would forever change his life, and where he discovered the little one had been thrown into the rubbish, so he decided to do that. The scene of the poor abandoned baby caused a huge compassion in Mark, and from then Mark welcomed the baby and months later went into process to adopt it as her daughter, so she dedicated her life to take care of the small baby. Mark's mate room and his girlfriend Sophia accepted too to receive the girl in his house and start to treat her as his own daughter. The couple gave all they can and wished the best to the defenseless girl who was recovering gradually. The transformation of the girl is amazing. Lila has gone through several neurosurgical interventions in an unimaginable way. The perimeter of her head decreased about 5 centimeters, and she lost 2 pounds of liquid that was in your head after more than 2 years since its adoption. The girl continues to struggle with adversities of life every day and comes being one hurdle at a time. She currently lives in Louisiana and will always be grateful for Mark to have given the opportunity to have a life worthy that all children deserve. So what did you think of her attitude? Mark worked with many families and their children, including one very special child named Lila. On the rare occasion Lila was taken out in public, her mother would cover her in blankets to hide her away from the world. Sadly, this is not uncommon in poor communities. Many people attribute disabilities to being cursed, and that anyone who touches the individual can be affected. Mark also learned that Lila's birth mother had possibly attempted to terminate the pregnancy by drinking poison, and even went so far as to try to sell Lila to the government for research. Mark continued to work with Lila and her mom, but as time passed, she couldn't help but notice the infant had lost even more weight, to the point of being emaciated. He realized Liza wasn't malnourished because of her diagnosis, but because of neglect. One day, Mark suddenly felt a sudden compulsion to check on Lila at her birth mother's house. There, she made a shocking discovery that changed her life forever. This is Mark Jude, a 21-year-old police officer. While in grad school, Mark discovered his passion for advocating for children in poor neighborhoods living with disabilities. In 2013, Mark moved from Louisiana to the West, where he began work as a volunteer in a children's medical center. In January of 2014, a young police officer came into the medical center building, a 3-month-old baby girl named Lila with hydranencephaly, a condition where the buildup of cerebrospinal fluid on the brain, causing the head to swell. Lila was terribly malnourished and needed immediate medical care, but sadly, Lila's birth mother treated her more like a shameful secret than a child in need. Whenever she took Lila out in public, she'd wrap her up in blankets, hiding her face away from the world. There is a stigma placed on those with disabilities. Lila's biological mother did everything she could to avoid being ridiculed. She had also been a prostitute and possibly tried to terminate the pregnancy by drinking poison. Mark ultimately convinced Lila's birth mother to let her bring Lila into her orphanage family and give her the care she so deserved. The first week Lila was in my care, it hit me just how neglected and malnourished this sweet little girl was, Mark wrote on his website, Little Warrior Lila. His internal organs were beginning to shut down. 99% of babies with Lila's diagnosis die before they turn 1. Miraculously, she had already surpassed the odds, even in such deplorable conditions. Still, doctors said Lila was dying and told Mark to pray for a miracle. Miracle upon a miracle. She continued to survive, Mark wrote. In February 2015, after 6 months of being her 24/7 caretaker, Mark officially became Lila's legal guardian. He dedicated himself to caring for her forever. Mark's partner, Sophia, shares in his mission to provide Lila with a loving home. This photo captures perfectly how tender and sweet Sophia is with Lila, she writes. I don't know where I'd be without her support. Lila now has a caring, attentive family with who she celebrates holidays and milestones. Just look at this incredible transformation. Now she had performance and music school. Lila underwent her second neurosurgery and had a VP shunt implanted, which drastically improved her quality of life. Her head circumference decreased by nearly 2 inches, and she lost 5 pounds in fluid weight. Cue the tears. Lila tried out her new standard in physical therapy today, Officer Mark writes. She wasn't supposed to survive the malnutrition, but today she stood. She wasn't supposed to thrive after having hydrocephalus untreated for so long, but today she held her head up. She wasn't supposed to live with most of her brain missing, but God. It has been 2 years since Mark has taken Lila under his wing. At 2 years old, Lila continues to defy the odds and make unbelievable progress.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.